Yes, this is John G. Sutton. Welcome to Tales from the Jails. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about a particularly infamous inmate that was located at Wormwood Scrubs when I was there, officially known at the time as the man with no name. Because seriously, he was in the segregation unit at the Scrubs, which is located at the end of A Wing. By the way, if you look at the Scrubs like that, A Wing's at the far left, D Wing's at the right. A Wing at the far end, that's where the segregation unit was. And in there, I was on duty one day and told that I had to supervise on a one-to-one basis a specific inmate, and his cell card was blank. It was a red cell card outside his cell, but it was turned round blank, and there was no name on the cell card at all. I said, uh, who is this man that we don't know? You do not ask who this man is. You make sure you stay with him everywhere that he goes. You go right next to him. You will be accompanied by two other staff, and one of them will be a dog handler. So they had a dog. Every time he came out of his cell, there was me standing next to him and two other staff, one of which was a dog handler. And he was taken everywhere he went. Went to the toilet, went everywhere. So this man had no name, no name. Well, and now we'll tell you who he is, yeah, who he was. But we were not supposed to, nobody was supposed to know he was there. It was never, ever officially notified to the press or anybody that this man was in custody in Wormwood Scrubs. No. So this day I had to take him to the shower unit. So he said, right, we got there. He didn't speak much English, but he indicated, because he wasn't English, you see, he indicated that he wanted to go to the toilet, you see. So I had to take him to the actual toilet and stand with him. He wasn't, he was definitely, all he was going to do was urinate. But for deliberately this, I had to stand right next to him, you see, like he's here having a piss and I'm there, right next to him. And he was about, I would say, about 5'5", 5'6", extremely heavily built. Really built like a pit bull terrier, Big broad neck and a huge head. He was a big strong man, really, but not tall, but he would take some handling, this guy. Anyway, I'm standing next to him at the toilet, and he didn't even acknowledge that I was there, other than to piss all over my boots. Seriously. He deliberately did that, just as a matter to annoy me, which it did annoy me a bit, Gets in between the laces into your shoes, you see. So he pissed all over my shoes. Then we took him in and he had a shower, and I just splashed the water all over my boots and got that off. But so he had to have a shower then, and took him back to his cell, into the cell. Everywhere we went, the dog was right 6 foot away, and the other jailer was next to the dog, and I was right next to him just in case he kicked off or tried to escape, because he was not, under any circumstances, to be allowed to escape. I'll now tell you who this man was, and you'll understand why he wasn't allowed to escape. His name was uh, Ilyich Ramirez Sanchez. Ilyich Ramirez Sanchez, also known as the Jackal. Yeah, and he was in. That's his photograph there. You can see that. Yeah, that's. Can you see that? Yeah. Put it up that way. See if you can see it a bit better there. Yeah, that's him. The Jackal. Yeah, and he was in Wormwood Scrubs. Yeah, but nobody had acknowledged that he was there at all, and he was taken out of the Scrubs. I think it was. I think it was the flying squad or the secure units from the police took him out of the Scrubs, got him onto a plane, and flew him to France, where he was handed over to the French authorities. And believe this or not, on his way from the airport to the prison in France, he escaped. I mean, this is one of the world's most, at the time, notorious terrorists. He was blowing places up. And the way he'd been arrested was he was staying in a lodging house in London, and the landlady of this lodging house had gone round to tidy the bedrooms up while everybody was out, and he'd left underneath his bed a suitcase full of dynamite and explosives and handguns and grenades. And so she phoned terrified of this, she phoned the police, and the police arrested him there, and he was directly do not pass go, straight into the scrubs, into the segregation unit. And that's where I encountered him. And that's what happened to the real life Jackal, Ilyich Ramirez Sanchez. Look him up on Google, yeah, you'll see him. But it doesn't mention the fact that he was locked up in the scrubs, because nobody's ever admitted it. Because it would have been such a scandal, and we didn't want him. We wanted out of him, get him out. Yeah, he went on to commit various murders, and I believe he's now serving life in a prison in France somewhere. He was born in 1947, I think, something like that. So he was, so I don't know exactly when he was born, but he is still alive as far as I know. Anyway, I want to talk about another infamous inmate who was also at the scrubs when I first went there in 1975, and that's a guy who's better known to people as Dirty Den. Leslie Grantham was there. He was on D-Wing because he was serving life for murder. But I don't know if you know that Dirty Den was a murderer. Well, he absolutely was. He'd tried to rob a taxi driver when he was a soldier. He was a soldier in Germany, and he tried to rob a taxi driver, and the taxi driver put up a fight, and Leslie Grantham shot him dead. Yeah. And he was charged with murder. He tried to plead that the gun had accidentally gone off, but the jury in Germany didn't allow that, and they found him guilty of murder. And of course, being a soldier, and it was standard practice that any convicted soldier of a civilian offence would be transferred to HM prisons in the UK, and that's how Leslie Grantham got to serve his sentence in the UK. I believe he finished up at Ley Hill, an open prison, where he was in the drama group, and that's how he got into acting, because people saw that he was a good actor, which he obviously was. I mean, he ended up his life being sacked from what was it, in EastEnders, yeah, where he played this Dirty Den. I personally didn't watch it, but he was sacked from that for, what was he dressed himself, this is almost beyond belief. I mean, there's some strange people out there. He dressed himself up, believe this or not, as Captain Hook, yeah, patch over the eye, thing, yeah. Then on his webcam, he was dressed as Captain Hook, and flopped his tattle out, his reproductive organ, yeah, exposed that, and began to manipulate it with his hook, I believe, strange person. Anyway, this was all exposed in the Sun newspaper, because they obviously knew that he was up to this, and bang, got into it. And so Leslie Grantham was fired from EastEnders, and pretty well his career ended with that, except that the police arrested him for molesting a young schoolgirl, an underage schoolgirl, and he was going to be prosecuted for that, except the victim, the young girl, couldn't give evidence. She refused to give evidence against him, possibly because she was extremely nervous about this. But anyway, and I met Leslie Grantham when he was at the Scrubs. He was quite an affable, jovial character, but he was a character, and he had a certain persona You could see that about him. And he played in, they used to put plays on D-Wing, you know, the lifers. They put plays on, they had a drama society, and they put on, what was it? I think it was What the Butler Saw, or something like that, you know. A rather strange kind of play, you know, written by Joe Orton, I believe it was. Yeah, who was himself a strange character, who himself had served time in prison for, of all things, Joe Orton was imprisoned for defacing library books. What he'd done, this is absolutely, you look it up, yeah? He got library books and he changed the covers, yeah? He got a copy of the collected poems of John Betjeman and changed the cover for nude photographs. Yeah, seriously. He got imprisoned for that, him and his mate. How weird. Yeah. Anyway, listen, Leslie Grantham, yeah, so he's dead now. He died at the age of 71 of lung cancer. Sadly missed, eh? Dirty Den. And today we've been talking about the Jackal. I hope you're enjoying these little tales from the jails. Thank you very much. Don't forget to buy my book, Psychic Screw on Amazon.